And welcome back to this week's edition of the GWC Podcast. I am your host this week, Joe, joined as always by Andrew, Zach, and Austin. Um, Quite the week at Martinsville. Quick points penalty cleanup. Colleague got announced today that they got all their points back from the Louver penalty from Phoenix. So apparently NASCAR was like, hey, just give them their points back. So
Yeah.
yay, I guess.
I want to know what that conversation was like and what the decision making was there. Like, to me, that speaks to how little confidence NASCAR has in the appeals panel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they changed all the rules 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's about time, right? Colleague
Yeah.
didn't deserve it. If
No.
anything, Hendrick did.
Well, I think
Okay,
per the
they
rule,
cheated.
They both
per the
cheated,
rule,
but-
everybody deserved to have the rule stick. However,
Yes.
when you let Hendrick go, you have to let Colleague go.
Yeah.
So it's just funny that NASCAR has that little confidence in the appeals community that they had to say,
Okay,
give them
so
their points back.
here's my thing. If we're going to keep the appeals panel how it is, if you have two different teams that have the same penalty, do you use the same appeals panel for them?
I don't
You
know
know
if
what
I
I'm saying?
like multiple appeal people. Like, I feel like it should be a consistent, because that's when you get inconsistencies, is when you're using different judges to assess different rules. Like, I mean, we literally just saw that. You had a different set of people for Hendrick than you did Colleague, and you had two completely different ruling. To
Well,
me,
that's what I'm saying.
it should
Use
be
the same-
one group of people, whatever it is,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, however many you want. And I also think NASCAR needs to sit down with these people and go through the rule book and say, this is how the rule is interpreted. This is what it's supposed to mean. You can't just say, which, to their credit, they did take out the part about, or they added the part about you can't adjust points penalties if you admit they're guilty. So that was the funniest thing about the Hendrick thing. It's like, yeah, you did it, but we're still going to take points away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who knows if I ever see a proper explanation on that. Would be nice. Hey, they said you cheated, but here's all your points back. The penalty that NASCAR cares about the most. So
I mean, part of that too is, is it really the interpretation of the rules that came down to, or was it did you like intentionally modify these, or were they used in a race, or like, I feel like a lot of that in some of those cases is not so much, oh, how does this interpret? It's like, okay, you get a penalty, you get X penalty for breaking, for modifying a part, like a spec part like that. But then it comes down to the teams going, well, it's just damage from the race, or we never really raced with them, it was just practice. And it's like, okay, well then that's in my brain, that's what the appeals board is doing, not so much interpreting the rules. But I could be wrong in that. Who knows if we'll ever know? But that's kind of what I pictured, just kind of to your point there, Zach.
It's hard to say.
Part would help.
It's hard to say because we don't know specifically what the rules are, but from everything, because I don't have a rule book in front of me because NASCAR doesn't share it. But from
not prepared for the podcast, clearly. Yeah.
I know. Check my filing cabinet; it's not in there. But like we don't know the exact wording, but I mean, as far as NASCAR has made it seem, is that it's a cut and dry rule. Like, there's no specifications about the parts have to be raised or they have to be in any sort of condition. It's, you cannot modify the parts. It sounded like it was pretty black and white. So where they found wiggle room in that would be very interesting to find out, for sure.
It's true.
Well, yeah, you had Junior post a picture with
yeah, they're selling books.
Name for a book, yeah.
Yeah, and I just think it's funny too how they won't post a rule book, but Bob. I think at this point Bob has probably posted the whole rule book, because every week there's a penalty. He's like, here's the exact paragraph or two in the rule book, and I even just googled, you have to have a NASCAR credential to log in to see the rule book,
which we were denied. So unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, ridiculous.
Well, hey, better.
Don't they know who we are?
Apparently, no, they don't actually.
We're as big as Joe Rogan.
Fun fact.
No, but so moving on to the Martinsville weekend, we had a truck race. It was a race. Thoughts on trucks. I don't know what to think about that race.
Did not watch it.
Race is a strong word.
What was the point? Yeah, it wasn't a race. We put the wet tires on because NASCAR told them to, and then we dried the track.
Yeah.
Yes, that was confusing.
That is, I did kind of hear some of this. It's just so funny. And this is what I was talking about, like back at Richmond when it was raining, we had an opportunity to just try some stuff. Let a couple cars go out, see what happens, instead of like this live situation where we just don't look like what we know what we're doing.
But,
to NASCAR's point, I get them wanting to tiptoe into this because
Right.
they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
you don't want New Hampshire over it. You don't want to send them all into turn 1 and have their field wreck, but
Yeah, that
you
was
No.
also literally have rain tires, so
Yeah, that was kind of
Yeah.
my point. What you were getting at there, Zach, is like to their defense, if they just throw them on a perfectly wet track, first time these tires have ever really been tested in a race setting, like probably would have caused some mayhem. People would have been mad that they did that. Potentially, I don't know. Who knows with NASCAR fans, but including ourselves. But I don't know. It's kind of easy to see both sides there, I guess. But it's kind of like you said, frustrating they didn't do something to actually test them the other week. But yeah, that race was something.
And I forget if it was Denny or DBC. They were saying, why not just, obviously you can't race on standing water, but
You
just
can't.
yeah, or hey, even one of their ideas was, hey, just take the jet dryers, have them do a couple laps, and then send them on out because vortex.
I mean,
area
that's
and
what
you're-
they should be, right? They're
Yeah.
wet tires.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
And
the
you'll-
track. You can't dry a track and run wet. It's just like even a mostly dry track with a little bit of damp isn't what wet tires are designed for. They're designed for
Mhm.
the wet. And I get
Yeah, and-
standing water and all that because you don't want big spray and big hydroplaning going on. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's like standing water as in like puddles, big puddles.
Right.
You don't want, but you need standing water to run.
And wet tires.
As NASCAR calls them, wet weather tires. They're rain tires, right? We saw what happened when they ran them on this dry track. It was dry. It melted the tires. I mean, you need water to cool these tires or you melt them. You watch F1 when they're racing in the rain and the track starts to dry off and they have wet tires on. What do? They go and they're searching for puddles because that's what cools the tire. When I race motorcycles in the rain, that's what you had to do. You had to find the wet spots. It was also really fucking expensive to run rain tires. So there was no way I was going out on a, dry track with wet tires. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense why we're spending an extra half hour, whatever it took for them to dry this track to run wet tires on a dry track.
And then they ended the
And-
race early because of rain.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
if that's what they
it makes no sense.
if that's what they want to do, I think we need to have like an intermediate. Like if you're not going to have these cars running in like a full wet condition, which is fine, then have something in the middle because the tire they have is like a genuine full rain tire.
Right. I guess that's my question: is which one is it? Is it a full rain or is it like an intermediate where it's like, could they run in standing water? Do they even know like what they could really run these in? But
Yeah.
I guess tread level and everything. But
Yeah.
And it's ovals too, so it is different. It's obviously like, oh, well, F1 races in full-blown rainstorms. Road courses are different. And
They also
If we saw Monaco, they do
yeah,
not.
They do not.
So I don't want to hear
Yeah.
nothing from the F1 boys.
Yeah, that's
But-
true. They
But I mean, Martinsville's a little different though because it's flatter, so it's not like a 1.5 like Charlotte. It's not like
Right.
that. It's a flat corner, so it's not. You don't have like rain rushing down, and we're not talking about running in the actual rain.
no, yeah.
What do you guys think about? Did they do? I didn't see any of it, but they do the thing where like they call it a wet condition and teams put the wet tires on and
Yeah.
everything, and then they say, "All right, caution, dry condition." What do you think of that? Do you think they
I
should
was
do that,
gonna
or do you
get
think
to
it's
that
just
actually? I mean,
Oh.
I think with rain tires being as new as they are, I get why it at least has started that way. But I hope they get away from that because I think that's part of the fun of the transition from rain to like dry, from wet to dry, is who's going to come in early, who's going to like get hit it right at the perfect moment, who's going to stay out a lap or two too long and lose a bunch of
100%.
time from it, like who's going to hit it right. I think that's part of the excitement of that transition, and so we completely lose that. And then plus on top of that, we're at the official's discretion as to what's a wet weather condition or a dry weather condition, and then they could just absolutely eat up their rain tires before by NASCAR not calling that.
We saw that last year at Watkins Glen, and I think Roval 2 years ago, where it was kind of wet, dry, and I think was it Kimmy or somebody at Glen stayed out and got a lot of track position because they we're able to find the wet spot, and
Mm-hmm.
you like that. And I know like, ovals are different. I get it, but I don't know. I guess it's still their first time. They gotta probably play conservative on that, but still frustrating to waste all that time at the beginning and then to end the race in rain too. It's like, all right, come on. But
yeah, I mean, the main thing is, like Zach said, they had last week to test this out, and they didn't, and now they're paying for it this week.
Yep.
If I'm NASCAR, what I'm doing over the off season, I'm going to have.
NASCAR?
I'm not. I try to act like it though. I am going to have 3 or 4 teams on call during the off season. We're going to watch the weather, and if it's going to rain in Charlotte, I'm calling them to the racetrack, and we're going to run the little midget or Legends oval and just see what happens with rain tires. That's what I'm doing.
Go for it.
Just to get a better understanding
here, so why not? Yeah, perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
Where did they test the short track wet weather?
I think
It was Martinsville. It was Martinsville, but I know one of them they just like hosed water onto the track. It wasn't
Which
like
is
an
not
actual
the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not, but it is. I mean, as long as it's wet. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you're trying to figure out is the tire wear and the grip level, right?
Yeah, have and get a representative from each manufacturer. So get like a Hendrick car out there, a Penske car, a JGR car, and have them hold a car at Charlotte. Hey boys, it's raining today. We're gonna go and play around with this on the little Legends Oval. Just see what we see. Just learn a little something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so
the truck race is pretty much pointless. I mean,
Carson Hocevar is still.
Oh my God! Yeah, we do need to talk about that.
But guys,
what?
He wears funny hats.
Cool hat.
He wears
funny hat. Cool hats.
I don't know how you could hate him, guys. He wears funny hats sometimes. Come on.
They did penalize him too last, but man, this dude just needs to.
Where's the Denny level penalty?
Right.
Where's the $50,000 and
it needs to be more.
It does.
Sorry,
it's a
This
consistent.
is like his 75th time.
And over and over, and nothing happens. Like, get him off the fucking track. Do something. Like, this is ridiculous anymore.
It's bad.
I mean, what was it? 2 weeks ago, everybody's jerking off fucking Hocevar because he got his first win.
But he
and
wrecked
we're all
people
sitting
to
here.
do it.
Yeah, he wrecked people to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over him. Like,
GWC was not impressed. I'm gonna go out and we said it. We said he's still an asshole, and guess what? He proved us right. Thanks, Carson.
yeah, I mean, you can't right hook somebody, and
On a straightaway.
this is what his 4th, 5th time doing it. So I don't know.
Something like
I'm
that,
over
yeah.
Hocevar.
Between that and the intentional cautions, and it's just
I'm not over him because I was never on him. So I've always
There you go.
What?
Clip it.
Huh?
I said I was never. So that's clean.
That's
Yeah,
okay?
sure.
Fair.
I mean, I don't know. He's always kind of struck me the wrong way. I don't know. It's like in self-spinning from early on, and like just bring out a caution. It's just very overall just screams selfish driving and only cares about his own race, which I get. You gotta look out for number one. You know what I mean? But when you're self-spinning to bring out a caution, consistently wrecking people, consistently having timber tangents consistently, but you wear funny hats. Yeah, I don't know. I've been
So, is it just me, or does he have the most punchable face?
Dude, I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to say it. I literally was thinking that
he would be a great Duke basketball like villain.
Yeah,
if he was good at basketball.
It's like him
Yep.
and Trevor Lawrence. Both to me just have the most punchable faces. It's like that cool Step Brothers. Like something about your face, man. And I like Trevor Lawrence. Great, I support it, but something about his face, man. I don't know. Carson, I don't like. Andy has a punchable face. It was a great combo. So it's on site.
There you go.
Just kidding. That's a joke. I don't want to actually fight anybody. Don't
in game.
Yeah. Don't blame me from NASCAR tracks, but I don't know. I like the kid.
Yeah, so Trucks was a race. Xfinity, John Hunter got the dub and literally burned it down in his celebration. We love those mud flaps a lot.
Mud flap, baby.
Not really.
I mean, if they're not going to race in the rain, why the hell you got them on?
Right.
I agree. And it looks so weird too, seeing all these cars with the windshield wipers on a short track. I don't know. It's new. I guess it'll take adjusting, but it's like, that's so weird. We're at Martinsville with mud flaps and a windshield wiper. So
why are they there if we're not going to race?
Yeah, it's not the 1900s anymore. We can, kind of predict the weather.
Yeah.
If it's going to, if there's a 50% chance of rain, then throw this stuff on. But if it's 0%,
well, you call the car.
Point.
you call everybody to pit road anyway for changing conditions. So put them on then.
Exactly.
And I think Brian Murphy said it's like 2 bolts to get the mud flaps on.
There you go.
Yeah,
so why are they on
there?
No.
I mean, it was awesome looking. I will give it that. That burnout looked amazing.
Oh, it was sick. Yeah.
The sponsorship tie-in too was
great. On point. Like the posters that are going to come for that sponsor now is awesome.
Well, I think I don't know.
He was not concerned with getting out of the car though, which I thought was kind
of
weird.
Yeah, that was surprising. He just was like driving around like, nothing.
Like it caught fire and he like backs up, puts in, starts driving forward. I'm like, oh, he's just trying to get the fire to go out.
E-brake on,
And then he's just like, oh, I'm going to put in reverse and go another half lap. And this is just like, holy shit, dude, get out of the car.
Right, like you do realize you're about to be burned alive.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like that's what the third or fourth burnout, like actual burnout from these things. So I feel like if they're really 2 bolts, NASCAR, come on, let's lock it in. But
I mean, it seems to be the same sort of burnout that does it. That it's the whole
on the wall
up against the wall,
so
true. That the rubber just cakes onto the mud flaps. I mean, Larson did a burnout around the whole racetrack. It's fine. So
maybe not. But
I guess just don't do that. But still, just take the damn mud flaps off. What do we?
And Sam Mayer giving old Ryan Truex the your number 1 salute.
Yeah, he did.
What do you say about J? Like I can't say nothing bad.
I can't say anything bad about JGR.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about that. Was he told not to? Does it or no? Is he scared of?
Is he going to JGR? Like, think about it. What has Sam Mayer done for Junior?
Not much.
Great question.
He's wrecked a lot of cars.
He's done that.
I mean, he's fast. He's got speed, right? So, is it possible maybe next year you see Sam Mayer in the 19?
Might as well go get stuck in that Toyota pipeline, if you're not doing
He's in the 19 right now. Yeah. I do not remember Mike's
It was Ryan Truex, the guy that wrecked him.
I think it's an all-star car this year.
Yeah, basically.
John Hunter the only full-time JGR driver this year? No, Sammy Smith.
Sammy Smith, yeah.
Sammy Smith, yeah.
What was that?
Discord request.
I don't know, something flickered there. What reconnected?
The recording software. It's reconnected. We're good. Never mind.
Yeah, we're good. We'll cut that out.
But not in the video though. Hey guys, uncut, unfiltered. All right,
you get everything
behind the scenes.
But so moving on to Cup, the one that we're all here for. Not the greatest Martinsville race ever. Only had 5 cautions. 2 of them were stages. So
I think 2 of them were mechanical failures.
Yeah, one was 2009 Formula 1 champ J.J. Yaley losing his brakes.
People don't talk about that enough.
I know, it's wild. That was, I guess that's Fox's blunder of the week. They, if you didn't see,
one of them.
They kept Jensen Button's little piece in, and because he was in the 15 at Coda, and now J.J. Yaley's the Formula 1 champ. So congrats to him.
Which I know to mention your cautions too. I mean, that is the test for a good race, right? How many cautions there are, So.
I know. I just
it's kind of a mixed thing.
It really, I mean, it is. Weird. It's like
I think it was Gluck was saying there's a certain time period, I think up to 2016, where almost out of 30-something races, all but 2 had at least 15 cautions. And obviously that makes the races longer, and as we know with all the iRacing NIS races last week, but I mean that just shows how in control these cars these guys are. They don't, and I guess we can go into the package talk, but they drop a gear in the turn and they can kind of correct their car a little bit and scoot away. So
drop a gear, disappear.
Yeah,
we're talking about cautions, making a good race. Is there some algorithm for lead changes versus cautions that make a good race? Right?
I'm sure if you really sat down and thought about it, you could come up with some sort of relatively decent formula for it. I mean, it's a mixture of everything.
One lead change under green again?
I think so. Maybe. Yeah, something like that. Or a
couple. Only one or two.
I know Denny. Denny
and Larson both took the lead under green.
Yeah, that was it. And usually, short tracks you get a lot more than that.
But I mean, Larson's was just because of
tire strategy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was Denny, basically.
I mean, you saw it. Anybody who got out front just checked out. Look at Ryan Preece.
Yeah.
He was out front for the first stage and half of the second one or whatever, and he was gone. he was freaking gone, and he gets that speeding penalty, and he is nowhere to be found the rest of the race. You look at Joey Logano and Kyle Larson, the guys who finished 1-2. They were the most mid of mid cars you could have.
Oh yeah, they were not the fastest cars.
You get them out in front, and they ran away.
Yeah.
So it's on old tires, nonetheless, for Joey.
Yeah, that's Ross too.
Ross stayed out.
Who's ticking?
Yeah, who's plenty of stuff.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, fidgeting. But then Ross stayed out. When was that? Was that first stage he stayed out? There was a caution, and he had like 40 lap tires, and he ran away. He was like 25th.
No,
yeah,
he held on after stage 2.
What was that after stage 2?
Yeah, Ryan Preece won 1 and 2.
Oh, it was the same caution that I guess Preece got sent back for speeding. Yeah. But, I mean, he ran away, and he ended up falling back a little bit, but it was still a huge net gain. He finished like what, 5th or 6th in that stage?
Yeah, yeah. It's track position.
Yeah, and that's not what a short track race is. It's the fastest.
Well,
go ahead.
So I don't know. I shared an app with you guys that had live audio and stuff like that. But I mean, watching the race, we had there was one instance where I was watching Bowman just throws it in there and is just pushing Blaney, and Blaney goes and is just pushing whoever's in front of him. And there's no car movement. Like, they're stuck to the ground. There's no, and, it used to be, somebody pushed somebody corner. Oh, yeah, I lifted his tires off the ground. We don't have that anymore. These cars are planted to the ground. Like we said last week, this aero change didn't make the race better.
Not one bit.
While the race was going on, I was listening to Haley's radio, and they mentioned how aero was, not the factor. So I'd have to go back and look to see exactly what he said. But
I mean, it's grip. It's mechanical grip. You got a wide ass tire. You got independent suspension. You got bigger brakes. You got the gear ratios that let you drop down and shift into third, and it's just, I don't know. They made the car so good on paper, and I think that's where you're seeing these issues on short tracks. It's just they made an IMSA car. They made a GT car.
Yep.
The thing that made, in my mind, the thing that made NASCAR so good at your short tracks and your road courses too is the car drives like shit.
Right.
So the guys are wrestling it the whole time. They're slipping and sliding. They're on edge. The worse it drove made for better race. The reason the racing was good was because the car drove bad.
Yeah. So I went back and looked. It was Haley said, yeah, the aero got back to single file.
Oh, so no. We don't like that.
No. So aero's still a problem as far as like the aero push. The leader's gonna have the lead.
And it's like, even obviously we're not professional racers, but even like doing it in iRacing this past week, it just felt like it's like, all right, you gotta shift going into the turn, and you can't really. It's hard to pass people legit without having to move them. As Zach found out the hard way. But
it's like I passed that motherfucker clean. I don't know what you're talking about.
You did.
I didn't move nobody.
Yeah, it's just like even us amateurs on iRacing, we can even somewhat tell it's like this sucks. It's not fun. And even Denny was in. Here's the horsepower. Conversation, which I'm obviously very team go back to as much horsepower as you can get, but or Denny was quoting Gluck, who was quoting Jeff Andrews, the Hendrick president. It's like, even if right now we wanted to go back to 900 horsepower, it would take at least a year because of parts. And maybe that's a whole nother problem too, but
that's bullshit. So now,
lay it on us.
If I had the money, I could go to Hendrick website, whatever the fuck it is, and I can buy 1,004 horsepower motor right now. Any of us could do it if we were rich. We'll get Brett Griffin out there because he can't fucking stop talking about it. How much money he's got. But we can go to the website and buy it.
I just went to the website, and what is this picture of Chase Elliott?
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
We'll get to that later.
What is this
Chase
picture?
Elliott was back this weekend, in case you didn't know.
Well, wait. No, we're not done with this
Chase
conversation.
Was back?
Look at this picture. I put it in the chat. What is that picture?
Oh, my gosh. For this.
Go
Go ahead.
Back to the. Sorry, Andrew was talking about something.
Second punchable face.
Okay, that's enough. Chase,
Don't
hello,
hit his
you're
leg.
welcome on the pod at any time.
Honestly, it's Ross. Let's be honest.
But I don't fully buy the year out. Like, I feel like NASCAR makes enough money. They have enough resources that if they really wanted to do something, they could certainly get it done within a year or under.
I agree.
I
agree.
I don't think they really want to go down that avenue. That's why they keep going to trying to pull these different levers and do an arrow. And now I guess they're looking at. I saw that Elton Sawyer say something about tires. So who knows what they're gonna try. I was thinking, these things have these diffusers that are sucking the cars to the ground. What if you added a ride height? What? Not even take them out. Just add a ride height rule. If you raise them up, they're gonna have less suction. So what if you bump them up a few
ride
inches?
height. I've been saying it forever.
Yeah, so bump them up 3 or 4 inches. That to me that seems like the easiest thing that nobody has to buy anything, unless for whatever reason this suspension
I
doesn't
guess
let you do that.
my question with the buying is, because obviously the car is single source. Are engines single source now too, or because that's still kind of in house, right?
Yeah, engines are still in house. That's why you still see at least a decent amount of discrepancy between the teams.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
we still got Rick Ware in the back. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it can't be.
But aren't the engines the same engines they ran when they had the 750 package? Like, I thought the engines were all the same.
Well, I think Denny or I forget what I mean.
Denny was saying the bill hasn't changed at all.
That was surprising to me too.
Believe it.
NASCAR's big thing is like we're saving money, but they still cost whatever $1 million a piece. That's probably way much, but just for whatever argument's sake. And I think maybe DBC was saying like now it's a lot of like this tape. No, it was Denny. Like a lot of it is just tapered spacers. Like they just kept adding tapered spacers, knock out 50 horsepower, but they have to build around that. They can't just take them out. But I don't know nothing about engine building, so I don't know how long that takes.
Joe, stop.
Everything.
We know everything here. Okay.
Oh, true. Yeah, true.
I know a little bit. But I mean, you're changing the. Nah. I'm not going to go into it. But I mean, you got to change it a little bit. But for the most part, it's not that big of a change.
Yeah.
I don't get what the big deal is. So
I do have a tinfoil hat theory on all this.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Ooh, lay it on us.
Toyota doesn't want it.
No, it's not that. I think so. NASCAR and Adam Stern just posted, I think it was today, about NASCAR having a commitment to go carbon neutral by 2035. And one of the things that's going to have to come with that is you're going to have to go to like a hybrid power plant. These big heavy V8s that just suck fuel. They're going to have to go. You're going to have to go to some sort of hybrid system. And you already see people saying, "Ew, I don't want that electric. Get out of the car." I mean, I don't really love it. I don't love hybrid systems in the car or the idea of it. So what I'm thinking is maybe NASCAR is using, like, they want to stay low horsepower now, and then when they switch to the hybrid powertrain, hey, it's hybrid, but we're bringing 1,000 horsepower.
Ooh. So they're saving the high horsepower to almost soften the blow of switching to hybrid.
That is my theory.
That's interesting.
Because manufacturers will 100% get behind a hybrid system that makes 1,000 horsepower. They're not interested in these ICE engines that make 1,000. They don't care about that. But you tell them we're going to do hybrids, even V8 hybrids. I bet you they have a lot more buy-in from manufacturer standpoint, and it becomes an easier sell to your traditionalist fans. You make people crave horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
And then it softens that hybrid blow.
I feel like dealerships would have a vested interest in having high performance hybrid stuff too, like that. I mean, obviously you have like your Teslas or stuff that's technically high performance, full electric and stuff. But I mean, I've like seen some rumblings of people, not rumblings. It's just like a few posts I've seen of people being like, I'm kind of losing interest in cars now that everything's going electric. Like it's not as fun anymore. Like. Mm-hmm. Not having the internal combustion, but like being able to produce something that still is going to appeal to like your car guys who have been these like cult followers of these
Mustang, Camaro.
Camaro, Supra, whatever, like these guys who like that's like their car and have loved them forever, or like wanted worked on them forever. Like that could be a way to still keep them involved. So I could see that just like one example of how manufacturers could have some buy-in to producing a really high power hybrid like that. I mean, we already seen in Formula One, like they run hybrids for freaking as long as for a while. I feel like since the early 2010s they were running hybrids because they at least had KERS and everything back in like 2012, and so clearly Honda and Mercedes and freaking
Renault.
Like they all clearly have a vested interest in it. So why not Chevy, Toyota, Ford?
Well, and you're seeing other manufacturers because you got Audi going in to Formula One now. You have Ford going back in, just engines, but Ford's going back in. So people want to talk about how expensive it would be to get into NASCAR, or how expensive you think it is to get into Formula One.
Oh yeah.
So I think the hybrid powertrain draws that attention and that desire to get in. So that's my theory.
When we started cutting horsepower in NASCAR, what was it, 2018, 2019, somewhere in there?
I don't think it was that early. What do you mean cutting?
Oh.
Like, I think...
What was it, the 550?
Oh, when did the 550 start? Maybe it was like 2019 something.
I feel like
I don't know.
Let me see
something
like that.
What were the rumors then? Anybody remember?
I don't know.
Can't say I do.
Honda. Honda.
Yeah.
Come in. And so everybody had this rumor that Honda wanted to lower the HP, and that's how they were going to come in. But now that Drake's talking about F1 produces 750 to 1,000 brake horsepower. So,
and
I think Zach's tinfoil is turned into like a full-on helmet here. I don't think he's that far off.
Full-on helmet.
Well, yeah, especially you got Ford going back in, so they're going to be cranking out 1,000 horsepower engines in a few years, so they can definitely do that for NASCAR, I would think.
What did Kevin Harvick say today?
He said,
"Bring on the 1,000 horsepower."
Maybe he knows. Hopefully,
it's just NASCAR is so against, like they resist adding horsepower so much lately, and it's like there's got to be a reason. And one was probably to bring manufacturers in, and now with this talk of hybrid power plant coming, I think they're going to use it as a selling point.
Yeah.
Later down the road.
Holy shit! Like, I never thought about it, but no, you're spot on. Fucking hopefully. I don't know.
The only thing I don't want to see with a hybrid, I don't want to see any sort of push to pass. I don't want to see boosted power. I just want to see raw 1,000 horsepower in the car.
What we really need is like what they have in Formula E, where you drive at a certain part of the track and it boosts your car. Have y'all seen that? Y'all watch any Formula E?
Some F-Zero bullshit.
It's like freaking Mario Kart stuff. It's like superimposed in the broadcast with the drivers. I guess there's some indicator on the track. But like you drive a certain point, you drive like a certain part of the track, and it's basically like a push to pass. Like it boosts your car
like a DRS zone.
No, it's not even that. It's literally like, okay, you're coming up. Say like you're coming up, you're going on a straight or something. And the normal route is like hug the right side, get a left-hand turn coming up. If you go on the left side and hug that wall and drive through the certain point, it like powers up your car and it gives you like a certain like speed boost. I think it kind of sacrifices your like corner speed for one corner, and you only get a certain amount of lap or like certain amount of like laps you can actually do that on, obviously. But like it's so Formula E is just something.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. When was the last time any of you watched Formula E?
Never.
I'm gonna find a clip of this.
Not true. I did see bits of it because
I watched a couple of years.
The one
they were good.
The one really funny thing I saw was they did like this thing. I think it was like a fan vote or something like that, and whoever got the most votes had like a boost of power or some nonsense.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, you could vote, and that driver would get a speed boost. So it's called attack mode. So it says it allows drivers to increase their power output by 30 kilowatts, giving them a temporary boost during races. To activate attack mode, drivers must drive through an attack mode activation zone on the track marked with LED panels on each side. The driver then has 45 seconds to use this power boost before it deactivates, and they must go through the zone again to reactivate it.
That sounds like Need for Speed.
It's what? It's the fun. I'm gonna find a clip and I'm gonna send it.
Oh man,
it's literally so goofy. So that's what we need in NASCAR. Essentially, is what I'm saying.
Oh hell no! I will turn in my jersey or whatever it is for NASCAR.
Your jacket, your Leatherman jacket, whatever.
Yeah. Well,
Andrew's yelling something from the bathroom.
Oh,
look at his puppet dog.
Yeah, but we'll kind of off that, the Jeff Gluck Good Race poll was
real quick. Hold up.
Pause. Hold on.
Zach's point is more important.
Circling back, I just want to close this point before we move on. Circling back to when did they first do the 550 package? The first high downforce, low horsepower package was ran in the 2018 All-Star race. So 2019 would probably be when they actually did.
Gotcha.
I just want underglow. That's all I want. That would fix
the underglow
everything.
The underglow was actually pretty cool, but I hated how they only did it in the back.
Right. If it was all around the car, it would sit.
And how they had assigned colors. Let them do something creative with their sponsored colors. It could have been really cool, to be honest.
That's when the numbers were back too, and those were good.
Those in hindsight look so bad. I mean, when I first saw them, like, that's not bad. But now looking back after having forward, I'm like, I'm so glad we went. If we had to move them at all, I'm glad we went forward. And people are still pissed about it. I'm like, there's so many other things to worry about.
I'm one of those people are still pissed about it.
But you're not tweeting about it all the time. Like
you're still mad about Benny and Chase.
You're still mad about Harvick that one time. Come on.
I'm over Denny and Chase. I'm still mad at Harvick because that was cheap. My whole take on the number thing, I know this is kind of off topic. I mean, like, I don't care if they're forward. Just give them like, hey, here's 5 feet on the door that you can have your number and talk with your sponsor and have at it.
It's just not like I'm just not. I have so many other things to be upset about with NASCAR.
Yeah,
that's not.
Again, I don't tweet about it, but that's my take. If people ask, like, because obviously there's some cars like the original, I think the Ream Bell car. It's just there's so much dead space. Let them move.
Yeah, but that's not really on the. That's not the number. That's them not utilizing the space properly.
I know. Man,
which is sometimes up to the sponsors too. But I see your point, but I'm so over it, and I think they look fine. Yeah. I don't even notice. I forget that we even move the numbers. I'm just like, yep, that's what cars look like now.
We've seen plenty of good number designs that you can say a bad one is not solely on the number placement.
Right.
That's fair.
The only time it bothers me is at Darlington when we do the throwback schemes.
Yes.
True. I do wish they'd move. That's true.
It's
put them anywhere then.
Harvick's throwback scheme for the All-Star race, like, imagine if that number was centered. It'd be so much cooler.
Yeah.
And
the Byron one, the Harvick Byron one, like that one looked really cool, but really awkward at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like the number was,
Yeah. Well, getting
2018, Andrew. By the way, you were gone. 2018 for the.
Oh, I heard.
Oh, okay.
He's got the ears.
He had his head. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
But we gotta touch on the Gluck poll because it was not a great one. It was a 37% good, 63% no for was Martinsville a good race? I voted
twice as good as last year.
I voted
no. I voted no for sure.
It was better than last year, but it was still a no for me.
Yeah. But we also had a little tensions flaring between Kyle Busch and Corey LaJoie. I did not really see this happen. I think someone else has more perspective on this.
I just posted the video in there, but man, Kyle Busch is a crybaby. Like,
shocker. I never knew that.
He pushes LaJoie out. LaJoie pushes Kyle Busch out, and then Kyle Busch is mad.
Zach, you have the floor. Your comment.
Edge just baiting. I mean, it's just short track stuff. You're gonna be around people.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I'm
not mad 100%. It is.
I'm not mad at Corey for sending Kyle. I'm not mad at Kyle for they're just Kyle's probably frustrated because he's back there in whatever 20th.
He's racing Corey LaJoie. So.
Yeah.
I mean,
at Martinsville,
it's just whatever. They're bumping into each other. They get pissed off and they do stuff. I don't care. It happens. Nobody got sent into a wall. They rubbed fenders. They door banged and
should have been sent in the wall.
Yeah,
it wasn't Corey.
And then and that's it. I don't know. I didn't really pay much attention to Kyle all day.
Zach, I think you forget we're the number one Corey LaJoie fan podcast. So
that's true.
Is that true?
Is number 2 to us. So
I do not remember putting that in the bio.
Corey, you're welcome on the pod whenever you want, bud.
Come on.
But and another, I'll say this too. I guess moving on, but ratings from last year were up 17%.
Chase Elliott effect, baby.
No, don't. No,
I don't. Well, context. No. Last year was on a Saturday night.
Apparently it was rained out too. There was a rain delay. I forgot about that.
So that obviously would affect it. And I don't remember there being a lot of. I think maybe there were a couple NBA playoff games, but there really wasn't a lot of sports on otherwise.
On a Saturday night, there would have been.
Yeah, last year, of course. Like I'm talking about 2 days ago. So I guess as expected, But what didn't Richmond still have more viewers though?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I thought.
yeah, I don't know how to really. I haven't really jumped into ratings that much. So
I think
but
when
take it for what you will.
Richmond was 2.3, so we
Oh.
were 100,000 over.
All
Or
right.
at Richmond. Martinsville
Suck
was
at
100,000
Richmond.
less.
It's because Josh Berry's more popular. Josh Berry effect.
That's
Yeah.
true. Josh
I mean,
Berry
I'd
effect.
If you're gonna say ratings went up at Martinsville because Chase Elliott was back in the car, then why were ratings better at Richmond? Because Josh Berry was in the car.
It's true.
So I got a quick question. Hey Joe, how many Chase Elliott hats do you have?
I have 3.
Damn it. Okay.
I have a signed Mountain Dew one. I have a Napa, and I have a 2020 championship hat.
Also,
Damn it. So what I was gonna do was I have a Josh Berry hat.
Okay.
So I was gonna say that there's 100% Josh Berry hats versus Chase Elliott's, but you have Chase Elliott hats, so that goes out the window. But Josh Berry's better than Chase Elliott.
Also, I really like how Andrew's having to look up at his monitor where he has us on his screen, which also happens to be where Joe is. So it's like we're in the damn Brady Bunch intro where we're all like looking at each other like, so Andrew, tell me, man. Zach actually had a question for you real quick. Joe,
what's
now
up?
that I mention it.
Oh, man.
Let's just keep that going the whole time, guys.
I love it.
We'll
Oh,
change it
that's-
next week. But yeah, for right now,
that's
you're right
good.
up.
Side
right,
note:
Andrew.
if you're listening to us, you can watch our actual video here on our Facebook page at
YouTube.
yeah. Sorry,
We have
excuse
a
me.
Facebook?
Wait, what? Excuse me. Sorry.
YouTube page.
YouTube page, which is the Green White Checkered Podcast. We're also going to start
subscribe
live streaming
button.
these probably next week, so be sure to tune into that. We normally start around 9:30 Eastern Daylight's time or Eastern Standard Time, depending on the time of year.
There you go.
But definitely go subscribe to us on there so you don't miss a live stream or a video if you want to watch us the uncut, unfiltered version.
So
Wait, so my editing is filtered? It is.
any final Martinsville thoughts before we move along to Talladega?
Do we want to talk about? I know we like. Do we want to talk about the Fox flubs of the week? Just
the
I got one.
JJ Ellie one.
yeah. Well, so Joe,
What was the JJ Elliott? Oh, you mentioned it, didn't you?
That one.
2009 Formula One champ JJ Ellie. Respect his name, please.
I think my favorite was in the truck race. They were trying to show a replay of, I think it was Kyle Busch's like lap 2 versus lap like 25. And they very clearly had flipped them to where they were showing lap 2 as lap 25 and lap 25 as lap 2. And they were like, oh, wait a minute. Like, they're like, wow, it's way faster. And then they caught it quick. They're like, I think they had those flipped, but you could see the difference there. And it was just like, it was a small thing, but I was like, that's it's classic there.
It's
Fox,
just Fox, so on brand.
Yeah,
we love
mine
that
was
so much.
Mine was on Sunday when the 78 car lost his tire, and you got Bobby and Mike Joy just, hey, there's a tire on the track, and then you got Clint going, where? And they're like, it's right there, Clint, right there on the front stretch. He's like, where?
Look on your screen,
And
Clint.
eventually Bobby's just like, it's right there. And Clint goes, well, I know where it's at, but I'm asking for the viewer. And we've been looking at it for like the last 5 minutes.
It's like he has no excuse at that point. Either you're looking at the track and you
Yeah.
don't see it, or you're looking at the monitor showing what's actually live right then, and you're seeing it there. So it's just, come on, dude.
And Clint's 12 beers in. He doesn't know where he's at. Just put him back in Charlotte, watching it from the TV screens or something. I don't know, but yeah.
Well,
that was my Fox gripe of the week.
So that's our new segment, Fox Gripe of the Week.
Fox Flub.
Just name it.
Fox Flub of the Week. Yeah.
Only like 8 more weeks for that to be a possibility.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
God.
And then we do
Foxed up beyond repair.
And then we
Where
do
we at in the schedule, Zach.
we do NBC good thing.
I think week 10.
They do it. I think it's after.
Hold on, I lost my.
It's usually July 4th week, ain't it?
Yes.
The week before.
Yeah.
I think Nashville was their first race last year. NBC.
It's their first race again.
Okay, cool. Well, moving on from our beloved broadcasting partners in Nashville and NASCAR. So we got Talladega, baby. We got Dega up this week. Excited for that. How do we think? Will this Will this race be good? What are we thinking? I'm thinking single line choo-choo train for a while, honestly. But who knows? I'd love to be proven wrong.
I think you're going to see that. Just like the first and second stage, you're going to get that top line.
Yeah.
And then hopefully the third stage, things get a little interesting. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'd love to see, the old school 3 wide nonstop for, the whole race. But maybe we need to get rid of stages during super speedway races.
We get rid of stages everywhere, but that's a great next step for sure, because then we get more strategy. I would hope. So.
Yeah, get rid of stages altogether. It's gonna be so deflating. It's so annoying to just. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I'm just so done with stages.
I am too.
Stage breaks, keep the points. I don't care. Keep the points all you want, but I'm just done with stages.
And keep the points. They're gonna take their commercials anyway, so it's who cares?
I just don't want to see freaking onboard cameras, like bumper cameras and shit. They show them all the time. Like, I don't care. Like, they're fine for replays, I guess, but like at a plate track, it's just
it don't make sense to anything.
Yeah. No. Oh, a car is bumping into another car. Oh, thanks for that insight. Like, it doesn't matter.
Did you watch the video I posted earlier this week, Zach, and told you to watch?
I don't listen very well.
NASCAR Winston Cup Series Talladega 500.
No, I haven't. I'm still knee deep in my 2005 season.
All right, so somebody posted this. I found it online, and the exact instance when you click that link and watch it is the most perfect view of any NASCAR race I have ever seen, and it goes on for like 5 minutes, and it's just like, where is this video? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but you have like overhead shots of the field. You have the far out camera showing the whole field. I mean, we're in a pack, right? We're not focused on one driver. We're focused on the whole field. And this 2001 race, I don't know how to explain it. It's just perfect.
I mean, that's how they've all been. That's how, like, I just said I'm watching.
I'm gonna go back and watch it right now while you're talking.
But they're all like that. Like, their camera angles are so much better. They show a wider shot, and we've said it before, their awareness is there. Like, they know what's going on. If something's happening, they're flipping to it. If the broadcasters are talking about something, the cameras pick right up on it. So whoever's directing the cameras is on their game. So it was just so much better and such higher quality back then.
Yeah.
And it just fell off.
Yeah. So excited for Dega. To clean up a couple other motorsport news.
What do we think of this super speedway package? I've been hearing complaints. I know, imagine that.
What?
About 3 wide not really happening, and how they're all kind of bottled up and stuck in 2 lanes.
I mean, that was Daytona, though, right? Or I mean,
I thought wasn't a similar complaint.
It was like that Talladega last year too.
Yeah,
where like it was hard to pass. Like, it was kind of like you were kind of stuck where you were unless you're in the top 5 or 8. Or
Denny
even
Denny says the third lane can never really develop. It just, for whatever reason, I'm sure he explained it, but I don't remember what it was.
Well, they said they had handling problems, right?
I don't know if it's handling, but I guess this car just doesn't work in a third lane for whatever reason.
I don't know.
Too much drag or something. I don't know.
Put a roof spoiler on the fucking things. I don't know.
Oh man. Or like that dirt car that had a giant glass pane on the side of it. That would be hilarious.
Dude, if you ever get to go to a cheaters night at a dirt track, go. Amazing.
Yeah, they're wild.
That sounds
I've seen videos
awesome,
of them.
actually.
They bring all kinds of goofy shit.
Oh, they'll throw like big blocks and fucking 4 cylinders and put a giant freaking.
All I heard was cheaters night. I was like, is that like a swinging thing or what?
That's what they call it up here.
That's how it started.
That's what they call it up here. But,
sweet heavens.
Oh, good heavens.
Yeah. But no, I think they got to do something. I don't know. The racing's not fantastic. It's your super speedway, but if it's gonna be like Daytona where they're stuck 2 wide, I'm not that interested. Talladega, you should be able to go 3 and maybe 4 wide. Daytona's a little bit skinnier, but I don't know. I want to see passes for the lead. That's what it comes down to.
Why? It's weird.
Yeah. You're right. F1.
I mean,
yeah, man, come on.
Are they back this week? No, next week.
Nope.
No,
they
they're
still got
still
some time off.
They're demanding schedule. They're still off.
Really, just the true athletes there racing once a month.
Right along with the truck series.
Incredibly demanding.
At least we know when a race happens for them, unlike IndyCar. So
IndyCar is the worst marketing in anything I've ever seen.
Their entire
they apparently had a race this weekend, allegedly.
Apparently it was. I don't know. I saw some dude post a Twitter poll. It's like, what was the best race this weekend? It was like 4 options, and that one won. I don't know how many votes, but I guess
each one.
Yeah, I guess there wasn't. It was the Martinsville race, that one. And then probably, what else raced this weekend besides like maybe MotoGP, which no one cares about. Sorry, Andrew. But but or like Euro
trucks. It was in the US too.
Oh,
COTA, right?
Yeah, it was like.
Oh, that's right. It was COTA weekend. But I even knew about that, and I didn't even freaking realize IndyCar was at Long Beach until someone said that on like Sunday. Though,
and it's Long Beach. It's one of their best.
Yeah, tracks. Exactly. So allegedly, according to that one poll I saw, which there's no way that was wrong because it was on the internet. So. It was a good race, but did I know it was happening? No.
I only knew it was Long Beach because I saw it in the iRacing schedule for the week.
That's how I learned half of their stuff. It's ridiculous.
Like, man, dude, they're just It
was at the exact same time as the Martinsville race, right?
Yeah, they did the TV.
I think they started like a half hour apart or something.
So actually, that brings me something with the Martinsville. Did the daytime race help? More, because it was a night race last year, right?
Mm-hmm. So Saturday night, yeah.
So did that help as far as track grip, or no?
You got to think it did something. If it's a little hot, I don't know what the temperature was, but you actually saw rubber laying down the track, and I don't believe last year we did. I don't think any rubber laid down, so I don't know. I think
bring a softer tire.
You just got to figure out how to take grip out of this damn car and do that. Get a softer tire, get something that wears.
I think ratios too. I know I talked about that before, but somehow restrict the ratios where downshifting doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on the boat of make a minimum ride height. I think we went downhill in racing once we took away the minimum ride height rule.
Yeah, it would get the diffuser off the ground, and that's definitely sucking the car down.
And then you're going to get more air going underneath the car and hitting the car behind it. So you're going to get rid of some of that aero push.
I think it's hard, and I don't know, as again, we're just fans here. We're never wrong, but we don't know.
Not once.
Yeah, we're not experts on aero or engine building or anything like that. But with, when do you reach a point where it's not just hard to drive, but almost undrivable? Like, one thing I think that they've talked a lot about, or drivers have made little sides to, is how the car's not savable. Like, once it's almost like an IMSA car, like a GT car. Where once you kind of, or at least in iRacing, once you kind of hit a slide, you're not saving it. So yeah, that makes it hard to drive. But is that the kind of hard to drive we want? So it's like if you start messing with those ride heights, suddenly it becomes harder to drive. But maybe like something with the airs, make it like bounce around a lot, not in a way that's like, oh, it's just not, like a Gen 4 hard to drive. It's just like unpredictable, like unsavable, whatever that is hard to drive. Again, I'm not saying that's going to be the effect of that, but just kind of the thought I had of what's that line? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Go ahead.
At the risk of sounding super pedantic, there absolutely is a right and wrong hard to drive.
Right.
What you want is something that like you can go past the limit, but it doesn't punish you. Like you can handle the car over the limit. These things and GT cars, they tend to, once you cross the limit, you're done.
Right.
With your older, even Gen 6, I felt like you could do it. When they would step over the line, the car would get loose and be all over the place, but they could still catch it. They could still drive it. So that's what you want. You want something that can still be driven even when it's past the limit. You're just losing all kinds of time and burning up tires, not spinning out and smacking the wall.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like, and maybe I'm completely wrong here, it almost feels like, bottoming out the frame rails in these cars is way too easy, and that might be one of the reasons we're having, problems controlling the cars. We saw it, and I hate to say it, Bristol Dirt, where the giant rut, people were turning their cars.
Apparently they liked
their frame rail. Yeah, they were hitting their frame rail in this rut
Well, even the dirt guys are like, yeah, it's character.
Yeah.
I call it a hole in the track, but okay.
100%. When I race dirt, you'd find these dips that would help your car turn. But that one, you could literally see lines of where the frame was hitting because people were hitting their frame on this rut to get them to turn properly. And it's just like, come on.
Almost like the car wasn't built to run dirt tracks.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Minimum ride height, skinnier tires, more horsepower. I'm on that boat. Like, I've been there. It's gonna happen. Oh, get rid of fucking stage cautions. And let's just go back to fucking racing like it should be instead of this gimmick bullshit.
Dude, I'm glad you said that about stage cautions, because that, like, when I was watching, it's like, man, I know the stage is coming up, but I really wish they weren't throwing a caution for it. Like, I want them to. I really am hungry now. Now that I got a little taste. Now I want to see that.
They were in the middle of lap cars and they were struggling, right?
Right.
They're trying to pass Joey Logano to put a lap down, and Joey's fucking racing them. And then they're catching, Bubba, and Bubba's racing Denny.
Oh,
and it's just like, oh my god, this is amazing. And they're like, stage caution.
Stage caution.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody go round. Let's go. Oh,
Joey Logano wins up second. Like, what is that? Like.
I was saying that.
Yeah.
I was saying that back at Richmond, like, because I think Richmond was the first race after Coda, right? Yeah. Where Richmond got exciting in the old days from watching old races is when they started catching that lap traffic, and you saw them having to navigate that. And then, some guy's real good out in clean air all by himself, but now he's catching lap traffic. He's slowing down. Second place is coming, and he's better getting through traffic and this, that, and the other thing.
Second place is
yep.
He's Did you see the Greg Biffle thing I posted?
Yeah, golly,
so great.
Check out Zach's Twitter at Biggles TV. He posted some A+ memes. That one cracked me up. I was dying.
Yeah, if you want some good memes, go follow Biggles TV.
Hi.
You can see it right up there. Follow. Yeah, amazing.
Most underrated
great
Twitter
iRacing one.
Yeah, I do okay. But that was like the thing, and just like Andrew's saying, you start getting that excitement. And then stage caution. And then, God forbid, you have an actual caution for cause middle of stage, then you won't have a run long enough to get lap traffic.
Right.
So, like, if you only have 30 laps left in the stage and you don't get that interaction at all. So, yeah, get rid of them.
Yeah.
Be gone.
Like I said, we got too many gimmicks going on. I mean, Danica started it all, in my opinion. But, yeah, stages, get rid of them. There's no point. Like, I used to enjoy watching, who could make it through lap traffic the best. And what happened? Everybody would always race the leader. God damn this time. Everybody always race the leader harder than second place.
To clarify, we have a little side chat where we kind of like make notes and like, hey, make sure like we're we're hitting this time, whatever. And Andrew made a comment, said we need a "he's coming" segment. I said LOL, and Zach types out LMOA. So I reply, laughing my off ass, which is not that funny, but like it's the classic, like you knew it's coming. Late. And it's like we shouldn't be laughing right now, but here we are. So
I see the Drake typing, and I am panic editing. Like, I have to get this fixed.
So you edited it as soon as halfway as I'm getting ready to send it.
I have to correct this.
Oh, sweet heavens.
Oh man, I'm really laughing my off ass now at that.
Stage cautions suck, and we are last seeing my off ass.
But gimmicks, including the playoffs.
I agree.
I'm okay.
Go ahead
with
Zach.
Playoffs. Real quick, I'm okay with a reset at 10 races to go, and then you run like a mini season from there on.
Yeah.
Yes, but
race for the cup.
Do you like the one?
Is that what the chase was? The original chase?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
No.
I thought it was. You just re-racked it, top 10?
I don't think it was. Was it? I'd have to go back and look. Mr. 2005? Was it 2005 or was it 2000?
2004 is when they changed it.
Yeah,
that's when Kurt won.
I guess, because somebody told me that Tony Stewart wins this year. Like, I don't know any of this stuff. Somebody spoiled it, fucking Brandon. Told me Tony
Love you,
Stewart
Brandon,
wins it
dedicated
in
listener.
05. I'm mad at you for spoiling the season for me. But he's like, Tony wins. I'm like, how's that possible? Jimmy Johnson's winning everything right now.
Yeah.
Like throughout the season, Jimmy's doing way better than Tony. So I guess they do that this year. And I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Do you?
So, if we were to use a current point system, who won 90? Well, I'll just do this. This might blow your mind. Bobby Labonte would have won 99, 2000, 2001 championship.
Wow.
With the current system.
What, with the
With the
playoffs?
current system. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
But
The more you know.
I don't know, just throwing it out there.
I mean,
Jeff Gordon would have 7 championships if we never changed.
That's true.
and it's
But he doesn't.
Jimmy Johnson would have had
Like
20
3 or
billion.
something?
4.
No,
Yeah.
he's
4.
the best driver of all time. Don't
4.
you dare.
Fuck Jimmy Johnson.
Whoa.
I met him in Kansas in like 2003, I think, and he was in a fucking asshole. So fuck Jimmy Johnson.
Wow. How dare
You're
anyone
so
have
welcome
a
on the
bad
pod,
day.
Jimmy.
I was giving Joe shit for
fuck
remembering
Jimmy.
Chase Elliott from
Actually, yeah, come on
2017.
the pod, I'll tell you.
Jimmy, you're welcome on any time.
love you, Jimmy.
75% of us love you.
Yes. Well,
This time I had at least.
we'll move on. We got a couple things to clean up before we end. So we got easy kill count for the week. Eric,
I should mention MotoGP did put on a really good race this weekend. We were talking about IndyCar.
There you go.
We kind of skipped this. MotoGP at Coda, great race. A little bit high attrition, but like Bagnaia crashed out of the lead. Miller crashed out of third. Alex Rins ends up winning. First time for LCR Honda in 5 years. So again, motorcycles, yeah.
yeah.
Motorcycle.
Well, I know nothing about MotoGP, but
Nope.
glad we
Don't
had a
fall
good
off.
racing. Yeah,
Don't fall.
there's good racing. Yeah, don't fall off.
Do you know what they call motorcycles in hospitals?
What?
Oh, I know this.
Call them donor cycles.
There you go.
Haha. Yikes. A little dark there.
I still feel my racing career every day. I mean, I'm in pain.
Well, like I alluded to earlier, easy kill count. Eric Jones was one. He took out Burton, and that was really it for kill count wise. And then we need to hit our OnlyFans. I believe we have an OnlyFans question for the week.
We have one.
Hit us with it.
We have one from Leroy,
our British friend.
Yeah.
Liam. Is it named Liam?
Yes, I believe his.
Is it Liam? Okay.
Yeah.
His
Discord name throws me off.
Leroy or Liam asks,
the Brit. As
now we are
call him.
partway through the regular season. How do you guys think we will most likely? Who do you think? My bad. Sorry, little drunk.
Too many
Who do you
whiskeys.
guys think will be the most likely the first winner this year?
Wait, what was the starting point of the question? Now that we're halfway through the season.
Now
Or a quarter way.
Partway through.
Far away. We're a quarter way. Fun fact.
Oh.
Who do you guys think will be most likely? God damn it!
Someone else read this.
Most likely first time winner this year.
Ooh.
First time
Corey
winner.
LaJoy.
Corey's not a bad pick.
That's just my wishful thinking. I mean, I would love. I mean, he's been performing really well, and I don't know. I'd love to see him get one. That's
you
that's
got
my
6
hopeful
shots
pick.
this year.
So
I
is it
don't
first
know.
time winner this year or?
I'm
First time
assuming he
winner
means
overall?
first time.
Yeah.
First time. Hell, maybe Gibbs gets him a road course. I don't know. Just kind of.
Chandler Smith?
No. Colleague's way too far off.
Yeah.
Are they though? Like, I mean, you can't see them sneaking one out at Dega this week.
I mean, anybody can sneak one out. I don't like that.
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of like
That's
who's
too
your
random.
first time guys.
I'll give Drake Corey because Corey's like actually a genuinely good plate racer and he's getting faster cars. So like that's fine. But Chandler, I don't know. I don't know if I'd put him
But
as my
who's
pick.
Who's available as first time? You don't have that many.
It's Gibbs and
Gregson would be a good one.
Todd Gilliland and
Man, I at the beginning of the season I thought Gregson would be up there a little bit more than he
31st
is.
in points right now.
they are way. That whole
disappointed.
team is way
They're
off.
way off.
I know, like
They don't have any
completely blows
speed.
my mind.
Well, I mean, Jones is gone too.
Yeah, exactly. Jones was good last year.
Yeah.
You saw Jones multiple races at the beginning of the year, up there battling top 5, 10. You're not seeing him top 15.
Won the Southern 500 too.
Yeah. I don't
God,
know.
I was just thinking we should, like take plate tracks out of it, because that's the one where it's like, oh, you can make a case for anybody.
Yeah.
But I don't know where any of these rookie guys or any first time winners would come from other than a plate track.
Right.
So
because nobody's shown me anything.
I mean, Corey I feel like Corey shouldn't speed other places.
Zane?
But a win?
This week.
I
mean, at Martinsville, I mean, he stays out. I mean, you got Priest up there.
I guess.
I feel like his cars are right. I mean, he's points better than Priest so far. Priest is 28th. Corey's 23rd. I know that's only says so much, but I don't know.
Priest's fuck up. Do you see him winning any races this year? Do you see him being top 10 any races now?
I mean, where was he when he got into Larson at Bristol last week? I was listening back to our episode last week, and I remember he was talking about him getting into him, like Larson and Priest getting into it. Like, was that like high up in the field? Like, I'm like, I know he's far back there in points, but
maybe like 15.
I think it was after the pit stop.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was back there. I mean,
yeah.
Priest, I only see really being there at short tracks.
You think he's got a shot at New Hampshire?
Well, Stuart Haas seems to.
Yeah, I was about to say Stuart Haas at New Hampshire. I don't know, man. Like, maybe.
I'll tell you, I want to go on a little tangent real quick. That you just made me think of that with Stuart Haas. With all this stupid Chase fanfare about Chase being back, they completely missed Stuart Haas being I think all the cars qualified top 10. Like a team has been nowhere in speed.
They did. Top 4 or no, top 5, right?
Was it top 5?
No, it was top 10. It was top 10.
But all of SHR came and showed up.
Harvick was a little bit ways back, wasn't he? He was like 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, you had, I don't know. SHR finally showed up for a race. They put everything they had into this race. They should have had it. Like, hell, I should have fucking had it. I said last week, Priest plus 5,000. And he fucking speeds out of pit road because instead of having the number 1 pit stall, they had the number 2.
Yeah.
Because NASCAR took the number 1. Like, it was such a stupid penalty. And,
Has he tried not speeding? Like, just kind of a suggestion.
Sure.
I know, right?
Gotta get better.
Maybe his dash is blurred out like everybody else's.
Blurred in
maybe
his
we just
eyes
put him out there with, Denny Hamlin.
Maybe it's not a camera
Yeah,
effect.
it's not in post. It's not in post. It's literally that's just how their eyes look. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that penalty just killed SHR as a whole because that was their only chance to have 2 cars in the playoffs because that was Priest's chance to get into the playoffs. Harvick is going to be up there. He's going to get into the playoffs. Is it New Hampshire? Maybe. Almirola does he show up for New Hampshire? Maybe, but probably not because it's fucking Eric Almirola. Like, I don't know. It's SHR as a whole is struggling. They need to do something. And Harvick's a great fucking driver. He's a Hall of Fame driver. Priest is a good driver. I honestly believe it. But this was his shot. He missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, we'll see.
We didn't answer the question at all.
What was the question?
First time winner.
First time winner.
Said Corey.
Oh,
I answered the question. You're welcome.
I said Ty Gibbs on a road course. That was my answer.
Joe also answered.
Something.
Fuck it, I'll go Priest. I'm a believer. Not really. He's just the only rookie he's the only guy that doesn't have a word that shared.
Well, that 38 car's been running all right.
Yeah, he's been up there.
I don't know about winning, but running better than they have.
I mean, I'm looking at the first time winners, and I'm not really seeing any names that are sticking out to me as, okay, Ty Gibbs at a road course. I don't see it. Could it happen? Yes. Like I said, Chandler Smith. How about Justin Haley? No, he won it. Fucking Daytona. God damn it. I don't know. I'll give Zane Smith this fucking weekend. There's not too many first-time winners that I see having a possibility.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
I don't know. Zach still has Cody Ware on our freaking Survivor pick.
Ooh.
So
no one ever picked him.
Oh, gee whiz.
Well,
Boy.
Speaking of Survivor pool, we'll move into that to take us
Gonna
away.
pick that
So-
51 car this week, are you? I didn't realize. I'm sorry.
So Zach hit us with Survivor point standings, and we'll get our picks in.
How we did last
All right,
week.
so Martinsville, I came in last with William Byron, who I thought was going to do well, and he completely fell off.
He did not.
And then I don't know why I'm doing this in reverse order. Drake was ahead of me with Chastain in 13th. Second was Joseph, who had who'd you have, Joe? Bowman. We got 11.
Bowman.
And then
Bowman the
Andrew
Showman.
won with Hamlin, finished P4.
Thank you.
Flat. We'll take these picks in.
So speaking of which, Denny called his shot, and I think he kind of did all right.
He blew it, but yeah.
I don't think he blew it of his own doing. I mean, I guess he
I think
admitted
it's
he
crew
did.
chief kind of.
I think that whole caution just fucked him. If that
Yeah.
caution doesn't come out, I think he's fine. But then they sort of did fuck
So-
up some strategy. But
Should I bring up some analytics now, or should I wait till after this?
analytics. Let's just get through this Survivor.
Let's
Pool
get our
first.
picks in.
All right,
and
let's
then-
get
then
this.
we'll
in.
go.
Yep.
All right, so I'm up first. Gonna go with Joey.
Old Slowy.
That's a good pick. Good super speedway.
Drake's up.
I'm just waiting for my mind to be blown. Andrew told me he has a mind blowing analytics fact for us, so I'm excited to hear that. After the Survivor pool, I think I got to go Bubba. I think Talladega runs well there. Great super speedway racer, I would say.
He's got to get one of these times.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, aside the ones he already got.
right. Yeah, also true. I mean, I think we always say, oh, super speedways, like anyone can win there, but I think obviously there's guys who rise to the top there a lot of times, like Denny, for example.
Mhm.
But I think Bubba's one of those guys that really knows his way around a super speedway.
Yeah, 100%.
Works the air well.
Mr. Joe,
Going with old Mikey McDowell.
Great pick.
that is a good pick.
Honestly, probably
Daytona
the best
500 winner,
pick.
Michael
Daytona
McDowell.
500 winner. People forget.
But not a NASCAR champion. People also forget.
Yeah, neither is Chase.
Andrew, what's your pick?
A
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse champion? What?
Huh?
So my pick, I'm going with Brad K. Because last
pick.
week, I think he's got a shot. I don't know. I kind of like the Bubba pick as long as, Logano lands on his hood again.
That's still
yeah,
one of the best
Brad K.
end cars of all time. But
It was
It
pretty
is,
wild.
It is. There's very few. There was one way back in the day in like 1997 that beats it. It was like a road course wreck, and they like fly over the sperm. I'll have to find the video and show it to you guys. It's amazing. I'll post
the
it on Twitter.
sperm?
Right? I was like, what? They fly over the what?
Sperm.
All right.
God, we've really
all right.
divulged into sixth grader humor tonight. Golly.
Andrew-
maybe less whiskey next week, but
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
hit it.
No,
I'm stone cold sober, so I don't know.
I have to listen to this whole thing over again. I'm getting drunk.
All right, Andrew, hit us with your analysis, and then
All right.
Analytics.
So it's not mine, but Auto Racing Analytics on Twitter, look them up. AR Analytics had the entire 267 laps. Sorry, at Martinsville gone green. Hold on, I'm a complete fucking idiot. So never mind. Completely remove this.
All right.
Wow.
It says Miami.
So there we go.
My mind is blown.
Whoa.
I'm blown away at how stupid Andrew is.
Oh,
I really
sweet
want to like.
The
Lord.
I
whiskey
really.
is flowing. What can I say?
I was gonna say I really want to go back and listen to all our episodes and just like gauge our intoxication
Drunkenness.
levels from the beginning to the end.
There was one that was really bad. And this one is also really bad.
All right. Well, hey, it's all right.
Did have
Well,
a Cheerwine Ale before this too. Great beer, by the way. Incredible.
but yeah, so that about wraps it up for this week's episode for Talladega and Martinsville.
No,
Be
I got
sure
some betting.
Oh, betting. Never mind. Hit us with your bets.
Okay, got some betting. Corey LaJoy plus 5,500 to win.
Wow. Good super speedway guy.
Yeah, exactly. Noah Gregson at plus 8,000. I like it because of the odds. Noah's also really good at super speedways. We saw him do really well in Xfinity. Eric Jones, plus 3,500. We talked about the struggles that Legacy's having. I don't know if it's there. Maybe wait for the race to start. Maybe we'll go up to plus 5,000. Michael McDowell, plus 4,500. He won Daytona 500 when he was plus 3,300. We hit on that, so plus 4,500. Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Who won a Talladega for front row years ago?
Oh, that was David Reagan. It was a rain shortened race, and they stayed out. That was a win. In the Taco Bell car, that was great. There was another one. They were 1-2. I don't think it was rain shortened. I think all their wins before McDowell came.
Oh, are you talking Truex?
Oh God, we're googling it up.
I'm looking it up right now. Front row motorsports.
I'm kind of interested. And my other one would be Todd Gilliland at plus 9,000. I bet in multiple super speedways, top 10s. He usually hits on that. We almost had him at Daytona last summer. He wrecked. Not his own fault with 5 to go.
2013. David
Jesus
Reagan.
Christ, it's 10 years ago.
That's the rain. I think that was the rain one.
It doesn't look like it's rain shortened. They're racing the line
or something. Wait, what year did you say? 2013?
I think so.
They won one in when I was in college. It was summertime between 2014 and 2018. I think it was 2015 or 2016.
Reagan and Gilliland 1-2.
Jesus Christ.
Well, does that conclude your picks?
There's a couple of guys I was looking at. Austin Hill, I think he's at plus 4,500 right now. Maybe wait for him to go up. And then the other one would be Zane Smith. He's way too low right now. That's another live bet I'd be watching. But other than that, yeah, those are the main guys right now. LaJoy, Gregson, Jones, McDowell, Gilliland. I like the odds.
Very good.
Chris Buescher won in 2016.
Yes.
I think that might have been the rain shortened one, honestly. That was at Pocono. I think that was the fog one.
Yeah, that was the fog one. Yeah.
He did win a shortened one. I forget what it was for, but that did happen.
Yeah, that's one I remember.
Oh, damn. David Reagan with the move. That was a good move on Carl. I'll give him that.
Yep, they finished 1-2.
Very good. Very good. Well, that wraps it up for this week. Be sure to follow us at the GWC Pod on Twitter, and we're on YouTube at the Green White Checkered Podcast. Be sure to subscribe there. You can watch this lovely video replay if you are into video podcasts. And of course, our personal Twitters are on the screens here. We look forward to, and make sure to send in your OnlyFans questions on the GWCpod.com.
Thanks, Leroy.
Thanks, Leroy.
Yep. Thanks, Leroy.
Thanks, Leroy, for submitting your question this week. And let's have fun at Dega.
Someone submits a question in German at Daniel. I'll read it in German.
There you
go.
Can
laugh at me for my horrible German.
Someone at Racing Revo get him to submit a question.
Yeah. Expanding into our German.
German audience. So. We do. I feel like we consistently have one German listener. Right?
It's got
to be all Racing Revo, right?
I'm convinced Drake has his VPN switch
to Deutschland.
What is it?
So he can get target advertising for Germans and feel like he's one of them.
Man, how did my Duolingo for the day? Okay, come on.
All right. Well,
8% of our listens are from Germany.
Wow,
8%.
There you go.
There you go.
Shout out
Racing Revo. Thank you.
If that's you. If not, submit a question. Let us know who you are.
Our German listeners.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll do it. Have a great day, folks.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
I love you.
Yes.